Wow, that is ridiculously close. I need Alex. Tech support. Call him up. Hey, what's up, guys? This is Rob from Couch on Fire podcast. Um, Alex is still on this business trip, and he had a. I know he recorded a video with Ari, his fiance, and they're having some technical difficulties. I mean, that's their own personal. No, I'm joking. He's having some technical difficulties on uploading it, so I'm going to upload a very quick video. It's not going to be long. I apologize, but it's going to be, just something. So you guys at least have some kind of contact very soon. This is actually my second time recording this. I'm recording on my phone this time because the first time I recorded on my laptop, but for some reason, a Chromebook, I don't know, it just only recorded like 9 minutes of the 20 minutes that I was talking because I just rambled on. And unfortunately, that's going to be lost because I don't know. I don't feel like fucking talking about that again. I'll be honest with you. But I just wanted to tell a quick story about myself that a lot of people don't know, but definitely has changed me for the best. I am recording on my phone, and so sometimes I'll look at you, but sometimes I want to look at myself because I'm narcissistic and I love looking at myself. I've always been that way. So I apologize. So let's get right into this thing. Take a breath. Calm down. Here we go. So, first of all, change of settings. I'm in one of my 4 bedrooms. Yeah, I'm going to brag. In my house, and that I earned. So, the reason why I'm bragging about that is because if you knew me growing up, I didn't have much. My grandparents, they gave me clothes on my back. They gave me, gifts and things like that. But I didn't really have much. What I had was my friends. That's pretty much all I had. I didn't have a lot of money. I did get allowance every week because my father paid child support. And yeah, so I didn't really have too much. So going from that, and then right after that, becoming an asshole, taking advantage of people, being a dick, doing things that I probably should never do, steal, and just ruin people's lives, to having a wonderful wife, a beautiful daughter, a great job that I've been at for years, and a house in an area where people just want to move to because it's so beautiful. So I could tell you the long story of how I got from here, to all the way to here. Um, but that'd be too long. And honestly, that'd bore the shit out of you. That'd bore the shit out of me. I don't want to keep, telling people this damn story. But I will tell you one of those little stories in there. I think this story is the one that really hit me the most. Without giving too much detail, without dropping names, without doing anything that I probably shouldn't be saying over any kind of internet or anything. I'm gonna give you the what is that called? The 10-cent tour? I don't know. It's weird. Is it the 10-cent tour or the 50-cent tour? I think it's the 10-cent tour. Right, Alex? He's probably yelling at me somewhere. Um, so the thing that I wanted to talk about the most is the thing that when I was at my lowest of my lows, I went through a horrible relationship situation in high school, mostly my fault. I took advantage of her. I was an asshole. I've apologized. Don't worry, but I just did some bad things. I went from that, learning my mistakes from it, but couldn't fix it, to being depressed. And then while I was depressed, what do? Some people go to the bottle. Some people drink. I did drink, but I wasn't really like an alcoholic. I really just got into drugs. I mean, I've always dabbled in pot. I've always smoked some kind of weed, but I just started doing like heroin and cocaine and things like that. And yeah, I was pretty damn low. Did it for about 6, 8 months. I think the lowest that I've been in that situation would probably be watching someone I know blow somebody for drugs and me taking them. So that was pretty low. Don't worry, it wasn't me. But so when that happened, I don't know. I had people reach out to me and they noticed that I was not doing well, or just kind of like, it just wasn't great. It wasn't a great situation. So I finally reached out to somebody, one of my best friends since childhood, and him and his brother took me in. They took care of me. They got me help, which was basically their family kicking me in the ass because, I do love their parents, by the way. They just taught me a life lesson that I didn't get from my grandparents or my parents. And yeah, they gave me more than enough. More than, I mean, if I ever won the lottery, trust me, I have a list of people, mostly parents, that took me in over the years. And yeah, it just, they helped me. Now, I'm not getting in detail with a lot of this for two reasons. One, it is depressing. No one wants to hear this. And two, I literally just recorded it on my laptop, but that shit fucked up. But it's very depressing. Regardless, I'm glad I'm actually recording it over again because it's depressing. So I got better. Unfortunately, I had to cut out those people in my life that were bringing me down. They are amazing people, personality wise, and they're so generous. But unfortunately, they just did bad things that weren't up to what I needed to. I mean, weren't where I wanted to be. So I got better. Um, I started, I think I relapsed once with painkillers, but other than that, I smoke pot. I mean, I do that my whole life. I still will. Um, but I started to get better, hanging out with the right people, doing the right situation. I think I used to think about doing drugs again constantly, all the time. Actually, to this day, I still do, not as much, but I still do. But I think but out of that whole situation, me doing drugs, me, taking advantage of people, me hurting people, two things happen there in this whole drug thing. The first thing that happened was the part where I realized I needed to get out. So one day I woke up and listened to Sublime. That's what Stoner doesn't listen to Sublime. Roll a joint, start smoking it, walk to my friend's house where I do the drugs, and it started raining. So I'm like, shit. So I didn't flick. I flicked out the ash from my joint, and I put my hood up, and I'm walking in the rain. He lives about 10 minutes away, so I'm walking in the rain. This guy pulls up next to me. He's like, hey man, you want to ride? I was like, this is creepy. And he was like, you want to ride? I was like, oh, it's raining. I was like, fuck it, why not? So, he opens the door, and I sit down in the car. But I look to my left, I see him. He looked normal. Look to my right. Jesus loves you. Bumper sticker on the dashboard. I'm like, oh shit. Cross hanging down. Oh man, it's gonna be one of those car rides. I'm thankful the guy only lives 5 minutes away in the car. So I'm like, yes. God didn't say shit to me the whole way there. He said nothing. He just looked at me. I mean, he looked at me once. He didn't ask my name. He didn't say, how you doing today? He just kind of looked at me. Pull up to where I'm going. Don't want to name names. Pull up to the guy's house. Get out of the car. I say, hey man, thank you. I'm sorry I don't have any money. But if, the guy's like, oh, no, 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 no. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. He said, hey, real quick. I think you needed this more than you know it. As I was getting out of the car, he said this. I was like, okay. Close the door. I was like, what the fuck was that? Go inside. Start hanging out. Smoke pot. Playing cards. Just doing my normal stuff. Crushing up pills. Doing cocaine. I think that night I actually did cocaine. And, yeah, didn't really think about it. But then the next 3 days, it's kind of like resonated. It was just buried in my head. It just kept saying, I think you needed this. I'm like, what the hell? He didn't preach to me. I thought he would. He didn't say anything I don't know. It's just weird. So he, I don't know. So that was the first thing. So then after that is when I reached out to my friend, and that's when he, I called him up and he said, hold on, let me call you back. And he called me back up and he's like, hey, my parents, why don't you come up here and stay with us, get better. So, that's what I did. So that was the first step, right? So at that point, I'm getting better, right? I got a job because at the time I wasn't working. I got away from that situation. People that I was doing stuff with started to die, like they started overdosing and stuff, and it was just a bad situation. So once I got to that point, me feeling better, like basically, it's a cupcake. It's great. The icing on the cupcake for me to change my life. I talked about it on a couple episodes ago. A good friend of mine and me, him, and a couple other my closest friends and my best friend, we all went out swimming one day, and one of them drowned. And it was just surreal to me because, he's a lifeguard in shape. Look at me, I'm a fucking slob and a piece of shit. And I'm an asshole. And God took his life, not mine. Why? Why? And to this day, I don't know. I have no idea. It's bugged me, but for the best. So when that happened, life really just came out of. And that's when I just realized, I was like, man, I can't relapse. I can't do this. I need to get my shit together. And that fall is when I met my wife, and she doesn't do anything. I don't even think she really drinks too much. Maybe she did, just not with me too much. And yeah. So those are two things. It's just crazy to me how two things can happen to you, or three, or four, or five things, or one thing. It's just crazy to me how your life is going right, or no, your life is going left. We'll say it, for stupid purposes. Your life is going left, but then how just one thing, you just make one decision at one time, or somebody intervenes in your life at one time, and you turn right, and next you know it, this is where your life is. And I have everything to thank for that. I mean, I can obviously, I can't thank enough to my two friends that took me in and their family. I can't thank enough for all my other friends and family that have been there to help me out, and my wife and everybody. But I think the biggest person out of that whole story was the guy that picked me up. I don't know who he is. I don't even, you can get, was it biblical and say that he's not real. He was an angel. He came down. I mean, you could go far right as possible, but I don't know. So that was a one story out of many stories of the Rob Holt story that really changed who I am to this day. So yeah. So I hope you enjoyed that one. Like I said, short podcast, just a half podcast, 15 minutes. So next week we should be back to our regular schedule program. It should be great. I think we're going to be having a special guest coming up soon. I know I have a couple people that want to be on this podcast that listen. Yeah, if you're a great listener and you love our shit, please share it. Please like it. I'm going to look at you while I'm talking. Please share it. Please like it. And support us, man. I mean, we both have a lot of friends, and we love the support. Family, we love the support. Thank you. I know I'm enjoying this, and I know Alex is enjoying it. So yeah, we're gonna take this as far as possible. So thank you so much, and yeah, back to the regular schedule program next week. And I love you. Talk to you guys later. See ya.